So here's another quick little demo on a little tiny chord progression I made. Um, so first off, on the top right of the screen, there's a little magnet icon. You can click it, and it'll say snap to grid is off. So what that means, so if that's off, if I click on one of my chord, like one of these, you see I can click on them and they get highlighted. So I'm going to click on the top one and it brings up that menu right there. So there's all those different options. There's a trash can, which will just delete it. So I just deleted it, but at the very bottom of the screen, you can see there's like a little bar with different options. So there's an undo button, so I can click undo right there. So back to up here, we have our bar. I can copy it. The next button, that's the next button after the trash can. So if I got rid of this stuff really quick, I could click on, you see how the paste button shows up when I click on the empty space past the chords, so I can paste it. So I'm going to just undo all that. So yeah, so the next button is the paste button. We can skip over that. The next button is the basically repeat button. So it's like a circle with an arrow on it. So if I click that, I can choose how many times I want this to repeat. So I could have it repeat 4 times. You see, it repeated 4 times, 8 times, repeated 8 times, or I could have it go to the very end. If you want to do it less than the options, you can drag this. See, I could even only have it repeat like 2 of the things. But you see how the snap to grid is off, so I'm just like sliding this and it's not locking in. See, none of this locks. So you always want to make sure, going back, that magnet thing is always on. Snap to grid is on. So that'll allow everything to lock into place. And then our next option, you can see there's like a little musical note with the lines next to it on our bar right there when we click. See? Click on that. And that snap to grid also applies in here. This is basically a piano. Just going up the piano or going down the piano. And this is where you can place all your notes. So I could put a G right here, or I could put an E right here, or right here. Going left to right is basically following the tempo of the song. So you can see how on the very top of the screen there's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's basically the beginning of each chord. That's like where you'd want to place them ideally. So we got like 2, 3, 4. Then it repeats again on 5. So this is a 4/4 time signature. You can check your time signature on the top there. Those 3 little icons. So you can set your time signature to whatever, 3/4, 4/4. I just left it as 4/4. You can change your tempo. I just put it at 135. In the middle, there's a notes. You can write stuff in there. So continuing on, this little AI thing when you on the menu, don't even worry about it. It costs money to do that stuff. The 3 dots on the side allow you to transpose or shift. So if you want to shift things slightly, like if you're playing guitar or something and you maybe were just off like a tiny bit, you can shift it. Merge. So if I had 2 of these right here, they were like not together, I could go my 3 dots, merge. Now they're together. So I'm going to undo that, get rid of that one. Gonna just repeat that till the very end. Let's see here. So when you're making a beat, for example, going back to our 4/4 timing, you see how there's 8 spaces right there. So zooming in or zooming out will show more of the square spaces. It's easiest if you just keep it zoomed out like this. Just make it really simple. You can tap on these orange things to remove them, or you can place them by clicking on one of the boxes. So I just put 4 down, and that basically drives our beat. So just like that, it'll sound like that. Let's see here. So another hidden button is the cut button. So you see the line in the middle of the screen. So wherever that line is where the cut is going to be. So if I zoom in a little bit here and I click on the piano up there, brings up the menu, and you can see in the middle there's those like 2 half squares with 3 dotted lines down the middle. So if I click that, yeah, so it's right next to the circular arrow button and the paste button. So I'm going to click it and I just cut. So now I can move this one individually or that. So if I undo all that, I can undo the cuts, and then they're back together. So that's a good way if you want to steal a chord or something to place it somewhere else, or copy it and add it to another chord progression down the line. So it's a good tool. So on the bottom of the screen, you got a couple options. So if I added like a voice audio, so I just click the plus sign on the left side of the screen. So that allows you to add more instruments or voice audio. You don't really need to use the other things. The sampler could be useful if you want to record sounds and then make them into a little instrument that you can kind of place. So you can experiment with that one. I haven't really used it much, but anyway, if I click on voice audio, I can't record since I'm recording a video right now, but clicking the red button would record your voice. You probably know that by now, but if I scroll over right here, like all the way down here, the button to the left of the red circle will take me back to the beginning if I click it. The button to the right will just play it, and you won't be recording anything, just listen. You can pause or play. To the far right on the bottom there, you have the metronome. So yep, you can have that. This button, this weird little musical note with the plus sign, it's basically how you look at samples. You don't need to do that really. The far left side on the bottom will basically open up this menu over here. You can also just slide from the left to right. That'll open up all these options. So each of these has an M, S, FX, and 3 dots on each of these bars you can see. And then the pan button, so you can pan it. If you look at the top one, I can pan it left or pan it right. You can control volume. If you click the S, it'll only play that track. If you click the M, it'll mute the track. Clicking the 3 dots brings up all these menu options. Really, the only ones you'll use is like renaming it if you want to identify which is piano, drums, guitar, bass, you know. You can change the color, I guess. There's a mastering thing. I wouldn't really use that till you have all your tracks ready to go. So we'll just get off that for now. And what else do we got here? FX. If you click that, that's how you open up the menu for all your vocal chains. So you can kind of mess around with those. So you can listen. If I play the piano, so that doesn't have anything on it. If I click, or you can also just click on the far left icon of the blue bar or any of the bars. Like this one has the piano on it, so I click on that piano, opens up this menu. And then this is another way to access so the bottom right, it has the musical note with like the little lines right there. You can go into here again, and you can place your notes. All right, that's easy. Far left side, that's another way to access all the vocal chains. I call them vocal chains, but you don't have to use them for vocals. You can use them for anything. So if I put this one on the piano, for example, kind of echoey and fuzzy. Maybe this one. just changes the sound of it, kind of. Gives it different effects. So it can help it fit into a mix better. So yeah, that's kind of a brief overview. So here's a quick way to understand how to place your chords and your beat so they all are synced up properly in time. So we got 1 at the very top of your screen, 2 right there, 3 and 4, and 5 is where it's going to restart again. So there's 4 chords. In the middle of the screen you have your line going up and down. That's helpful for when you're in your menu or in your chord chart. So you can see the line is still there. So that's basically where the chord starts. You can see there's darker black lines on the 1, 2, 3, 4 at the top there. So that's another way to tell. So when you're actually placing the chords down, oh, and yeah, for some reason the button to access that little area disappears, and it's now, like, sometimes it's present, sometimes it's not, but if you click the 3 dots on the side of your menu when you click on the thing, it shows it up, the edit button. So yeah, there's that. So when you're actually placing these, you see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the same thing as the timing. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'd be like, it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see I put the cymbal taps on each one. So I just held the chords out right here, but you could do this. You can go in here. You can drag these and make them longer or shorter. So if I click on them, I can remove them, or I can place them by clicking again. So if you zoom in, there's going to be more of these boxes that appear, or less. It's probably easiest if you just keep it, so there's 4. Keeps things really simple. So I could place this 4 times, and then it would play it 4 times consecutively. See, those ones I just held the note, but this one right here. So if we edit it again, we can just get rid of all that. Another thing you can do is you can drag and hold to select everything, and you can now move all of it as one, or you can drag it as one. So there we go, that's a quick way to do that. Same thing with the beat. If you go into the edit, you can access all the drum kit components, so like crashes, tom drums, little cymbal crash there, tapping on the cymbal, snare, bass drum, kind of like you're hitting the stick on the side of the snare. Got a little cowbell thing going on there. But yeah, you can place all these on beat. So between the 1 and the 2, we placed 4 of them evenly spaced. So we got this feel. So that's that. And I also have the bass drum hits right here. Just 1 on the first beat right there, and then 1 right before it restarts again. So that's really simple. The bass drum, and yeah, see the musical note thing, the edit button is right there now. When, like on this, see, now it's there. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to click it. Just got your 4 spaces right there, keeping it simple. I could zoom in and start playing, like I could put a bunch of notes, and I could have like all these bass. See, but you don't want that. So I'm just going to hit my undo button at the bottom of the screen, get rid of it. See, now the edit button is not there. That's crazy. So yeah, you can hold the bass out, or I could have 4 bass hits. Oh, and yeah, also another thing, if I drag this to 3, the next one I place is going to be 3, so 3 spaces. If I drag it to 4, the next one I place is going to be 4 spaces. If I drag it to 1, the next one I place will be 1 space. So it's a good thing to remember. So I don't like to keep the bass going like that very much. I like to hold the bass notes out a little bit and then make sure it's in sync with the bass drum. So yeah, really simple. Let's see what else. Yeah, I think that should be pretty helpful. Once again, that little magnet icon, the snap to grid, make sure it's always on, because you don't want to be struggling to place down the notes. So yeah. Alright, so now I'm going to show what I would do if I was just trying to make a practice song from scratch. So I would just open up a Bandlab file, click virtual instruments, and first I would actually grab the piano rather than the beat. And let's go with this one. So I'm going to keep the time and time signature at 4/4, tempo 120. So once again, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4. So at 1, we're going to make a chord, 2, we're going to make a chord, 3, we're going to make a chord, and then 4, we're going to make a chord, and then 5 is going to be where the one chord starts again. So let's just click on our red piano on the far left side of the screen. On the bottom right, we can click our little button to access the menu of the chord chart here. So we got it's basically like a piano going up and down. So let's just make a C chord, for example. We're going to just stretch it all the way. So there we go. We got a C major chord right there. It's a little bit loud. So C, we're just going to do a 4-chord progression right here. So I'm just going to pull it to the next one so I know where it stops, because you can see in here the red line right there is where this is. So we're going to do C, and then we're going to play an A minor. And then we're going to play a D minor. And then we're going to play a G. And actually, we're going to bring this G up here. Actually, let's leave it down here for now. So now we got our 4 chords: C, A minor, D, G. So that's a 1, 6, 2, 5. So that's a really common chord progression. Instead of using the 2 in our 3rd position there, you could use the 4. So if I drop the D down to a C, it would be an F. So then it'd sound like this. I like this sound more, so I'm going to go with the D minor. So there we go. We got a 4-chord progression and 4/4 timing. So now I would just grab another virtual instrument. I'm just going to grab the drum kit, do a blues one. Sounds pretty good. I'm just going to make a simple, see how that sounds. So that might be a little too frequent for this. So there we go. We can make a little snare hit right here. Loop this. I'm just going to loop it to the end. We can make this last chord more interesting. We can make it an F minor chord. And we can add a little pizzazz, add a fourth note in there. So that would make it an F minor 6, which would sound like this. So that sounds pretty cool. So I'm just gonna loop that. And yeah, let's just do that for now. And then go to virtual instruments again. We're gonna add some bass hits for the beat, like to complement the beat. So I have, go to drum pads. Just go all the way down, vintage hip hop. We can put one on the first beat right there. And then we can put one right before it starts again. I'm just gonna loop that. Just go to the end. Maybe we can speed it up a little bit, pull the tempo up. So now we got a little chord progression and a beat going here. So I'm gonna add a bass now, virtual instruments. I'm gonna scroll over to electric basses. I really like the 62P bass. I actually have one, and they sound great. I mean, this is just a fake one, but it's fine. So the way you like to do the bass is that it's hitting in line with the bass drum. So we're gonna do this, pull that one over, and then we're gonna make another bass pluck on this bass hit. So many basses. And then do another C. You can play other notes, but I'm just gonna keep it simple for now. So we're gonna hear what that sounds like. And then our next chord was an A. We're gonna keep the same pattern. So for 3, you can see 3 bars right there, or 6 technically, but yeah. And we're gonna do another A right here. See how it extended past? We're gonna pull it back. And then we got our D. And then we have an F minor. We can go low or we can go higher. Let's try the higher one. So let's see what that sounds like. Just with that. See how the bass drum hit complements the bass. We're gonna repeat it. So pull it back like that, hit our circular arrow. And then see what it sounds like all together. So we got a nice little chord progression and a beat and a bass guitar going there. So now you can add some extra stuff. Maybe you want like some strings going in the background. So we can scroll over to strings. I really like to use the long strings, or the full strings long bows. I think they make a really good sound. So I'm gonna just hold a C through you can basically hold it through the whole thing, because all these chords are within the C major scale, so holding the C would sound really great. However, I'm gonna actually change it when it gets to the D. So I'm gonna just do something like that maybe. let's just do C back to, so let's go C to D to C again. And I did not make that long enough, so let's do this. There we go, fixed. So I think it would actually sound better if we just held the D all the way through it. So that sounds pretty good. It's kind of just holding everything together. Maybe you want to add another string to harmonize with it on the next time around. And this one, you can make it a little more interesting like that. Sounds pretty good. We can do this and make it harmonize in thirds. So let's just merge those. We'll just keep it going. Just keep looping it. Write a song on this. It's just a good way to make like a loop. Practice. So it seems like we lost a lot of momentum there because the strings. So we can keep it going if we add this one in the next time through. So there we go. That's kind of like a basic way to make a quick song. So then if you wanted to make like a bridge or something, you could cut it after however many verses. Usually an intro is like the 4 chords, right? And then if they play it again, this is still like, this could be like the intro. And then the verse could start right here. That repeats twice. And then right here on the 8th time, the beat can keep going. So you can see we played those 4 chords 8 times. So now right here you could like change it up and start playing some different chords within the C major scale, or you could like change key or something, or kind of start to make it more interesting. Like you could change the chord progression, so you could still start on C and then you could do like C, G, A minor, like you could do something like that. There's so many different things you can do. But yeah, that's how you can get started on a basic beat. And I would definitely use the C major scale because it's all the white keys on the piano and it makes things really straightforward. So